Good morning. My name is Kaya and I am a yoga instructor. Today we're going to be doing, following on from the previous two sessions, if you did see them or join in with them. And we're going to be focusing on our shoulders and opening up our shoulders and heart area. So it's part of the Introduction to Yoga series that I'm doing here on the Living Room TV. And yeah, we've done the meditation part, we've done hip opening, and so today we're going to move up the body to the shoulders. Great for if you spend a lot of time sat down at a computer or reading, like naturally this society we're hunched over a lot more than we used to be. We're looking down at our phones, we sat down at computers, we drive around a lot. This is going to be really great to just loosen up your shoulders, help improve your posture, maintain your strength that will prevent a lot of injuries and postural defects, I guess, later in life. So we're going to be spending most of the session sat down today. So find a comfortable seat. You can see if it's not comfortable for you sat cross-legged on the floor like this, you can bring something under your hips, like a cushion if you have a yoga block or a stool. You can roll up some towels, anything that elevates the hips will just release some of the tension that you may experience there and help you to straighten up the spine, which is going to be great for strengthening the spine and also the core as well. So, finding a comfortable seat, relaxing your shoulders, having the crown of the head balanced over the pelvis, chin tucked underneath slightly and shoulders relaxed. Hands can be resting wherever's comfortable. So we're first going to start by loosening up the neck. So we're just going to tilt the head over to the left. Keep the shoulders relaxed. We're not moving the shoulders at all here. Just breathe in deep. So sending the breath all the way into the lower stomach, so you're filling up the lungs as you inhale and emptying the lungs as you exhale. And as you stay here, you may find that any tension that you feel may release. From here, we're just going to bring the fingertips onto the ground, so that just creates a little bit more length in the neck and across the top of the shoulders. Going back to centre, inhale, exhale over to the right. You can start with the hands resting on the lap first, if you are feeling a little bit tense today. If you do wish to create a little bit more length, then just bring the fingertips on the ground. We're not hyperextending the arms, so we're not to create a lot of tension and overactivation. The arms are still relaxed. Coming back to centre. Just going to turn the head side to side. Moving in time with the breath. This is just going to be a 20-25 minute session which you can just fit into the middle of your day. Doing it on your lunch break or first thing in the morning before you go to bed, just to ease up tension. Going back to centre. Inhale, we're going to point the chin to the sky. Stretch the front of the neck. Exhale, bring the chin down to your chest. And up. And down. Just keep going, following the flow of your own breathing. And coming back to centre. Now we're going to draw a big circle with the tip of our nose. So taking that all the way around in a circle, feeling into each part of the move. This is a great thing to do to just identify where you are holding on to tension. moving really slow. You may find as you reach one part of the movement, you feel something a little bit out of the ordinary, and you're welcome to pause there. For example, I have some tension in my right shoulder, so when I turn and look towards my left knee, I feel it pulling there. So if you find anything similar, then you can just pause there and explore it. So become curious of the sensation that you experience. Breathe into it. Visualize directing your breath into that area. And your inhales expand around the sensation, allowing space. Let's turn and go the other direction. Because so often we want to tense and constrict around pain and discomfort, which just hinders the body from healing and becoming stronger. So we use our breath to work with the body to heal ourselves. And coming back to center. We'll roll the shoulders forwards, utilizing your full range of motion here. And moving the shoulders backwards. Drawing big circles, really protracting and retracting the shoulder blades. We hold on to a lot of tension in our shoulders naturally. And relaxing. Give yourself a little shake. Got to work with the arms as well. So extend your arms forward, stretch the fingers, and then make a fist. Keep the fingers stretched as you take the wrist round in circles. Keep going the same direction, make a fist with your hands. And then switch direction. Really feeling into the lower arm muscles. And then we'll stretch the fingers, keep going in that same direction. And give them a shake. Alright, so the first pose we're going to come into is just a partial pose, cow face or Gomukh Asana pose. So really good one, my favourite one to open up the shoulders. It can be a little bit intense, so be patient with yourself. Don't force yourself into any position that you're not ready to go into. Even if normally or on a usual day you can reach a certain point, the body changes day to day, so just work with today's body. So as we inhale, we're going to reach the right arm up, bend the elbow, reach down the back. And take the left hand and reach up the back. So you may or may not reach your fingertips. If you do, you can grab a hold and use that to create an assisted stretch. So we're intentionally pointing the right elbow up to the ceiling and the left elbow down to the ground. If you can't reach your fingertips, you can just use the left hand to guide the right elbow up to the sky and backwards, just stretching out your tricep and your shoulder. Try not to drop the head, try keep the head facing forwards. Close the eyes and take some deep breaths. So we're trying to keep the spine straight here, so try not to round over. If you can't reach today, then that's fine. Just take the second variation. And release. And we'll switch sides, so inhale, reach up with the left hand. Bend the elbow, reach the right hand up the back. Grabbing hold of the fingertips if you can. If not, then come into your assisted shoulder stretch. And you pulling the elbow up and pushing it back at the same time. So really creating that space in the shoulder joint. And gently release. Give yourself a little shake if you need to. So second one we're going to do is, again, another partial pose. By partial pose, I mean we use the bottom half. In the full pose, we use the bottom half of the body too. We're going to stay seated today so we can maintain the focus on our shoulders, so I'm not overloading you with information. So this is going to stretch the shoulders in the opposite direction. So as we inhale, we're going to bring the arms wide. Exhale, give yourself a hug. So first, let's bring the left elbow over the right and reach towards your shoulder blades. Try and squeeze yourself as tightly as possible. So this might be enough for you. Relax your shoulders from here. To take this further, you can bring the backs of the hands towards each other. Right hand will move towards the face as you wrap around. So your fingertips meet your palms. Again, keep the spine straight. You don't want your shoulders hunched up like this. You want to keep as much of the neck exposed. And just breathe into this one. Try and keep the hands drawn away from the face. And just explore the body here. You can see how it feels to move your elbows up and down as you inhale and exhale. We're going to find a point of stillness. As we inhale, we're going to lift the chest to the sky. Try and lift the elbows up towards the sky as well, pointing the chin backwards. Exhale, bring the chin to the chest. Elbows coming towards the torso, and drop the head. Inhale, reaching up, arching the back. Exhale, rounding forwards. Last time, moving at your own pace. And back to center. And release. Shake it off if you need to, before we move on to the other side. So inhale, stretch the arms out wide. Exhale, give yourself a hug. This time the right elbow comes over the left. Relax the shoulders first, stay here, or backs of the hands come towards one another. Left hand towards the face and wrap around so the fingertips meet the palms. Find your point of stillness where you feel like you're getting the most benefits. Take a few deep breaths into wherever it is that you feel this position. This one is called Eagle Arms, Garudasana. Inhale, arch the spine. Press the fingertips backwards. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. 2 more times, following your own flow. And then we'll find center. Gently release. Shake it off if you need to. Okay, so just going to sit, close the eyes, breathe for a few moments before we move on to the next few poses. Just come back into your natural flow of breathing. Notice what's going on in the body. The heart rate may have sped up slightly. If you are relatively new to the practice, you may find you're holding on to tension in the face from concentrating and trying to digest all of the instructions and the cues. So just take a moment to check in, relax the face, shoulders, the hips, legs. We're going to find our way onto our hands and knees. So first we're going to stack the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. As we inhale, we're going to arch the spine, lift the tailbone towards the sky, pin the shoulder blades back, and bring the chin and chest forwards. Exhale, round the spine to the tailbone, gaze towards the knees, press into the ground with the tops of the feet. Inhale into cow position. Exhale into cat. Release. So the next position or pose we're going to come into is kind of like I call it baby bow. So you can do a standing version of this, and it's going to be beneficial for your hips as well. So as we inhale, we're going to lift up the left leg. Keep the knee bent and press the sole of the foot to the sky. You want to keep your belly button drawn in here so your core is engaged, and it's going to help maintain your stability. Keep the right foot grounded. Inhale, reach up and round with the right. Take a hold of the top of the foot. So already you should feel that stretch in the shoulders, maybe also in the hip. So to deepen that, I'm going to try and lift up the knee slightly. Point the chin and chest forwards. Press through that left hand so we're not collapsing down like this. We're strengthening the shoulders at the same time as opening them. Gently release with control. Bring both limbs back down. And we're going to the other side, lifting up the right foot, reaching around with the left hand, pressing through that right hand and the left foot. Lift the chin and chest, and then try and lift up your knee. Belly button drawn in, core engaged to help your stability. Breath is flowing, controlled. Gently release. Bring the big toes together. Knees walk to the outside edge of your mat, or about shoulder width distance, if not wider if you can, if you're not using the mat today. Exhale, press the hips back to the heels, reach the hands forwards. First eye comes towards the ground. Lengthening through the sides of the body here. Elbows are turned down towards the ground slightly, so you should already feel a little bit of a lengthening in your latissimus dorsi, the muscle group that runs down the side of your back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, walk the hands over to the left. We're reaching through the right hand. Left hand can come next to the knee, so you can gently press into the ground to create a bit more length. Relax your head. Keep that right elbow turned down towards the ground, and breathe into where you feel it. Inhale, lift up, come back to center. Lengthen, make space through the spine. And exhale, hands come over to the right, lengthening through the left-hand side of the body, from the fingertips all the way down to the hips. Gently pressing through that right hand to create more length. And lifting up, come back to center. Coming back onto your hands and knees. So the knees are going to stay, the hips are going to stay stacked above the knees. So you walk the hands forwards. Bring the elbows down, lift up the tailbone so the chest is pressing towards the ground and the hips lifting towards the sky. So it's a gentle back bend here. Stay here if that's enough for you. Keep pressing the chest down. If you have the ability to go further, try and straighten the arms, bring the chin and chest all the way down to the ground. It's a melting heart. Again, lengthening through the sides of the body. Pressing down through the tops of the feet for your stability. Core engaged. Pelvic floor muscles activated. And breath steady. And then we'll gently lift up. So we're not going to bring the hands all the way underneath the shoulders here. I'm going to have them just in front of the shoulders. A little bit wider than shoulder width. Your middle finger pointing following the line of your forearm. So your hands will be turned outwards slightly. Press through the ground, spread the shoulder blades. You want to grip your mat or grip the ground. Tuck the toes, lift the hips and knees. Come into pyramid pose, high onto the toes. We're not going to go all the way into it today, because we're just going to come into a little flow. It's again going to strengthen and open up our shoulders, as well as work with our spine and our hips. So keeping the heels high, we're going to inhale, roll forwards, allow the hips to drop all the way down to the ground. Keep pressing through the ground so the neck is lengthened. Pressing the chest forwards. Exhale, lifting back up. Press the chest towards the knees. Inhale, coming down. Just going to keep moving through this flow a couple more times. You always want to imagine lengthening the spine. So that's really important when you come into this position. You don't want to feel any compression in your lower spine. You want to be lifting through the chest first and foremost. Last one. We're going to meet in pyramid pose, high onto the toes, lengthen the spine, and then we'll bring the heels flat, just getting a little stretch of the back of the legs here. Pressing the hips towards the sky, belly button drawn in. Ears next to the biceps. Lift the heels, walk the feet forwards, and come to sit down. So from here, last pose we're going to do is Purvottasana, wedge pose. I forgot the name in English then. So I'm going to go through two variations. The first one's slightly less challenging. You can do the first pose twice if that is challenging enough for you. You don't need to go on to the progression if you don't want to today. So with the legs extended, look down to where your knees are, bend your knees, place your feet there, around about hip width distance. Hands come on the ground behind you, fingertips pointing forwards if possible. If that's too much for you, turn the fingertips out to the side. Straighten the arms, lift the chest. As you inhale, press through the feet to lift the hips, squeeze the glutes together, and if it feels okay on your neck, drop the head backwards. Last breath here. And exhale, lower down. So, if that was challenging enough for you, go ahead and do that again. If you want to take it a step further, we're going to extend the legs. Bring the heels together, point the toes, hands stay exactly where they were. Inhale and exhale. As you next inhale, press through the heels to lift the hips. Again, if you can, drop the head backwards. Exhale, lower. Flex the feet, Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forwards. Grab hold of wherever you can reach, be that the feet, ankles, shins, knees, thighs, wherever you can. You can allow the shoulders to round and the chin to drop towards the chest, just for one final stretch of the spine. Gently release, rolling up. Using the core to control, come to lie down. Inhale, take a full body stretch. Exhale, hug the knees into your chest. And we'll finish off with just a little twist. So hug the right knee into the chest, extend the left leg. Left hand stays on the knee, right hand extends out to the side. Inhale, exhale, twist. If it feels okay in your neck, turn your head to look down your right arm. And to slightly change the sensation across the chest area, you can bend the elbow. Fingertips point backwards, same direction as your head. You may feel some satisfying clicks and pops here, because when we twist, we're essentially ridding the spinal column of anything it doesn't need. So, cracks and stuff like that, not necessarily a bad thing, they're only dangerous if they are painful, if you force the knee down. So, if that's your position, that's fine. You may not bring the knee all the way down to the ground. Again, we're working with today's body. Coming back to centre, switching sides, left knee hugs in, right leg extends. Right hand comes onto the knee, left hand out to the side. Inhale. And exhale, twisting to the other side. Turning the head to look down to the fingertips, if that's for you today. And again, final option, you can bend the elbow, fingertips point behind you. Center. We'll come into a quick Shavasana, so lying down, closing the eyes, palms facing the ceiling, and just taking a moment for that energy to settle into the body, rejuvenating the cells. Taking a quick moment to regroup. Return to a restful, peaceful state before continuing with your day. It's advised to take at least 10% of your total practice time as relaxation or Shavasana. For the sake of time today, we're going to take 8 deep breaths. Checking in with the body and the mind and just noticing how you're feeling compared to before you practiced today. Tuning into that subtle sense of aliveness within the cells. Checking in with the senses. And just resting here in an open awareness of whatever it is, both internally and externally. Inhale, take a full body stretch. Take the hands up and overhead, point the toes. Exhale, knees into the chest. Lift the forehead up towards your knees and exhale out all the air from the lungs. Rolling over onto the side of your body when available to you. Pressing yourself up and finding a seated position. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Shanti. See you next time.